Welcome to the Success Code podcast. Here we talk with leaders, CEOs, and founders to share the secrets, strategies, and insights that turn dreams and visions into a successful business. Today, guys, I have Dr. Dae Jones. She's a naturopathic doctor with over 20 years of experience. She was inspired by her own personal health journey to leave her corporate job and follow her passion for medicine. Dr. Dae is also an author of several books and resources that help people live healthier and more vibrant lives. Welcome, Dr. Dae, and please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you and your company.
So thank you, Julia. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I love the fact that you want to focus on how people can get success in business. I know that when I started my journey, I was in corporate America, like you said, and I wasn't really sick. I just had skin problems and digestive problems, and I was having like gas in meetings, which was super embarrassing. My periods weren't normal when I first started. So these are not things that people would consider like big health issues. But the truth of the matter was these issues were impacting my everyday. And that a naturopathic doctor that I was seeing was like, if you don't take care of these issues now, I was 21, I was right out of undergraduate. And if you don't take care of those now, then by the time you're in your 50s, you're going to be in a rehab center for pain and joint problems, or maybe you're going to be having a heart issue. So you want to take control of your health right now. And you want to make sure that you know what to do so that you can have a beautiful life, healthy life. You can be passionate about your life. And when she said that, I was like, wow, that sounds so amazing. Way more amazing than the computer programs that I was doing on an everyday basis. And so it made so much sense to me to help people. And she helped me so much that I was like, oh, maybe I can go and learn all the things that she learned and I can help people the same way that she does, because I saw so many of us in corporate America working 60 hours a week, frustrated at our jobs, eating fast food, not enjoying our lives. And so that's what made me switch to go back to naturopathic medical school, which is a 4-year medical program. We have to take boards like other medical professionals. And then when we graduate, we have to be licensed. And fortunately, Washington, D.C. and also Maryland licensed naturopathic doctors as primary care physicians. So that's where I am.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's amazing to hear how the experience you face led you to where you are today. And I'm sure that building and running a medical practice comes with a lot of obstacles, right? Even successful clinics face many, many challenges.
Absolutely.
Some of them are struggling to grow their business. Others face challenge finding the right team. And for you, what it's been some of the biggest challenges so far in running and growing your clinic?
So I think the first thing that I didn't realize, when I was in naturopathic school 20 some years ago, they were like, you're going to have to run your own practice. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take off time to spend time with my family. It's all good. So when I was beginning in practice, I did not know how to run a business. And I also didn't feel confident in being a naturopathic doctor. So if we think about being a naturopathic doctor as you're the technician for that job, right? It might sound like a fancy title, but I have to take care of all the patients. So I wasn't confident at that because I started my business right out of school. And in general, I would say, maybe this is surprising to some people, medical doctors, chiropractic doctors, traditional Chinese medicine doctors, naturopathic doctors, all of us, it takes about 5 years for us to really feel like we know what we're doing. So we may tell you that we know what we're doing, but to feel comfortable in our skin of saying, I've seen hundreds of patients. I know what are the protocols and what kind of lifestyle changes and the diets and, all of that. It takes time. So anyone who starts a practice, if you are learning how to do something and learning how to run the business, and you're doing both of those things at the same time, it can feel very overwhelming because the parts of the brain that you use to be the technician are different than the parts of the brain that you use to strategize and make and visualize what you want your practice to be, to look at the metrics and the statistics of what you're actually doing in the practice and learning how to figure out what the right ones are. So for me, in the first probably 8 to 10 years of practice, I felt like on everything. I didn't have a business coach. I didn't feel like I could afford to get a business coach or take business classes or even take continuing education beyond the bare minimum because I felt like I was struggling in practice. So for anyone who's new in practice, my biggest struggle, and this is not just for running a medical practice, but any kind of practice, I think you definitely need to have a lawyer. You definitely need to have an accountant, and a lot of times we think, well, let's just cut the corners on the professionals, right? You need a coach or someone who's been in business longer than you to help you set up basic strategies on how to be successful. And when we cut the corner, my experience is because I didn't spend money on that, it took me a longer time to get up and running because I didn't know what I should be looking for. I didn't understand how to do different type of marketing, and what was the best marketing. And there's so much stuff out there, right? There's so many people that are, try this AI tool, do this, it'll do everything for you. And I mean, they can be helpful, but again, if you don't know what you need or what's the most important thing or the things that's going to help you the fastest, then you're going to flounder. So once I'd been in practice for about 10 years, I realized I needed a coach. I needed specific systems. And as my practice changed, my coaches have changed. And as I started making more money, I was like, oh, I need help. I need a staff, or I need to be able to outsource some of the things that I'm doing because I can't do them all because I'm best at being a doctor. That's what I'm best at. I'm not best at being an administrator or being an accountant or being a market strategist. I am not the best at those. And I should do what I do the best. And then if I do what I do the best and I figure out how to give those things that I'm not good at to other people, then my practice improved, my happiness improved, my lifestyle improved because I wasn't spending 2 hours on Canva trying to figure out how to make a whatever, right? Like I gave that to someone that I could charge $10 an hour, $20 an hour. And so the $500 an hour that I want to charge is better spent doing that on patients instead of trying to figure out Canva for 2 hours or 2 days. I mean, like whatever it is. So that is what I've learned.
Something that I love that you just say it's you were not ready when you start, right? And I love that because so many business owner, they want to start, but they are waiting to be ready for that. So we need to go for it, right? And we're gonna learn the process along the way. It's gonna have challenge. We're gonna fail many times, but I love that on you. And on the other side, you just say that instead having a lot of headache trying to figure out little things like Canva, the marketing, you just find someone who do for you and you can do the best you know how to do. It's being a doctor. So in the other
Yes.
hand, what's something that you have been doing, you or your team that's haven't been doing that's working very, very well to grow your clinic?
I think that now I've been in practice for 23 years. And one of the things that is going very well that actually was inspired by my team, like I wasn't thinking about doing it, is they were like, you are very good at educating people. And so we want to find places where you can speak to people, like organizations you can speak to, or podcasts like this one that you can do, or what would even be great for people, because I have a lot of courses and I have books and other things, is can you just do small clips that you can put on social media platforms, which will help more people learn about you. And so I think it was last week, I was talking to one of the people that works on my marketing team, and he was like, "Did you know that you had 56,000 views on this something in YouTube?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know that." He was like, "What?" So he's like, "I can't believe that." I think last year, one of my team said, you don't have 28,000 viewers on LinkedIn. Okay, what does that mean? So one of the things that I've been doing well, but I could still do even better, is when I write articles or I post clips of information and education that's free to the public, that people like that my point of view is one that makes sense to people. And so I was doing really well of just being consistent. And I post every week. I used to have a newsletter. I would post every single week. We're still doing it every week, but sometimes we do different things because my team is doing different things because they're smarter than I am about it. But that type of consistency over years, leading into the pandemic, everybody had changes in the pandemic. But leading into the pandemic, I posted every week on Facebook and LinkedIn and on my website every single week. And so then I have all these people that have are following me because I was consistent. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't trying to get your attention. Like I was
Mhm.
just trying to educate people every single week. So just doing that consistently every week made a huge
Mhm.
difference. And now I have a team that says, okay, well, if you weren't doing it intentionally, if we add some intention to what you're doing and posting in particular places or particular times or whatever it is that they're teaching me, then you should easily be able to expand the amount of people that you're able to touch. So, since I love naturopathic medicine, I love creating content. I love people saying, "Oh, I didn't understand that. Oh, that makes sense to me. Oh, I'm in perimenopause. I had no idea. Like, I don't even know what that means." So, when I'm able to do those kinds of things, I feel good. I feel like I'm on mission. I feel I'm on passion. And that's why I jumped in without knowing everything because I have that passion. And that's what I like to do. I
Mhm.
like to teach and educate people. So that's where I think I do it well because I like it. And then I have other people to help me figure out how to do it in a way as a business owner that monetizes my business, that makes sure that more people know about me, that presents new opportunities for me that maybe I wouldn't know of otherwise.
Okay. And you're just showing how it's important to have a good team to be a foundation of your
Yeah.
business, right? Because they see on you a potential that you didn't know you have, or maybe you knew you have, but you're not using the right way, and your team could help you to expand that. That's why it's so important to have a good team for the foundation of your business,
Absolutely.
right? And so, in looking back in your journey, I'm sure you have learned many, many lessons, right? And what is one of the key lessons you have learned, and what advice would you give for someone who is starting out in this industry?
So I think the first thing I would recommend, people say this all the time, is focus on one area. So there's oftentimes that people in naturopathic medicine, or maybe people are dietitians, or maybe people are lifestyle coaches, or maybe people are functional medicine doctors or chiropractors, and they start and they think, oh my gosh, I have to treat everything because nutrition is going to help every single person. Well, that's true. Absolutely 100% true. So much research behind that if you eat in a particular way, it can make a difference in your lifestyle. So I wrote 2 books about nutrition. So nutrition is important. But if you just say, "Hey, I do nutrition and I help everyone," people can't connect with you. People can't understand how you can help them. So when I started saying, hey, if you are a diabetic and you're or prediabetes, if that is the diagnosis that you have and you want to treat it naturally and not take medications, I can help you. I can help you with nutrition. I can help you with lifestyle. I can help you with stress management. I can help you understand your hormones. So then any of those people can identify that's me. That's me. Hey, she can help me. So if someone's starting out, I heard so many people like, yeah, but I have to treat everything. Yeah, I don't want to miss anybody. Well, I talked about how to help people with blood sugars and insulin resistance and being overweight. And then they come up to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, do you help with high blood pressure? Hey, do you help with thyroid? Because I really want help with." So you still can get other people
Mhm.
outside of the one conversation that you're having. But if you're brand new, I told you I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do in my practice. I wasn't really confident. It helped me to be confident because I was working on those things. I know those special things. And then people still came up and said, "Well, I have a cousin that has eczema. Can you help them?" Well, that has nothing to do with prediabetes. And yes, I can help them, right? So I think that if people would trust that advice, start with one thing, connect with your customer, help them to see how you can help them improve the quality of their life. Then you'll start getting a bigger practice and you can even start treating more things than the one thing that you're talking about. But it gives you a place where you can start and settle in and not feel overwhelmed like you have to know everything to be good at what you're doing.
I can see that you have built a very strong foundation for your business. And let's talk a little bit about the future. What is next for you? What are your goals for you in your clinic in the next year?
So, thank you for asking me this question. Right now, I do a lot of individual appointments, and which is fine. I love working with people individually. And I've noticed as I have actually become a menopausal woman, I think that women don't really understand what's happening to their bodies, what's happening to their minds, what's happening mentally and emotionally to them as they go through this perimenopausal process and menopausal process. And what I found is that when I work with them one on one, that's great. But when I get even 2 or 3 women in a session together, or we have a menopause or perimenopause brunch, and now all of a sudden there's a group of women and they're like, hey, I have that problem. Hey, I'm not alone. What? Yeah, me too. Like that kind of thing. It's amazing. So, what I would really love to do in the next year, and I'm working on, is creating courses where women that are going through perimenopause and menopause are doing group classes, group coaching, like working so that they know that they're not the only ones, that they're not crazy, that everything they used to do is not working anymore. Like, what? And then someone else says, oh my God, same thing. I used to do this. It's not working anymore. So then it's not just me telling them, but it's a community of women that are together, that are sharing experiences. And I'm just guiding them around, yes, well, if you change your nutrition this way, if you support these particular hormones, if you exercise in this way, if you focus on this kind of thing to help improve your sleep, then things will improve. So I'm guiding them, and we're kind of feeling like we're all in it together. So group work allows me to fill that function of being able to do that kind of thing, particularly because my practice became basically 100% virtual since the pandemic. So I missed the patient interaction and the classes and that kind of thing. And then from a scalable level, if we look at a practice, there's only one of me. So if my slots are full, then people have to wait. But if I can do some group work where I'm speaking to multiple women at a time, now I can treat more patients, and I'm not diminishing my personal quality of life by having to work harder or longer in order to try to help people heal.
Actually, I love your goals. I think it's a very smart vision. And I know that people out there, they are always looking for the right information. And if you know how to share that with them, I think it's very powerful. And I'm sure you're in the right directions. And thank you for sharing that. And when we think about the future, we are always wondering what innovations and ideas we can bring to your business, right? And something that can truly make the difference. And one of the big topics right now that I would like to know more of your opinion about it, it's about AI. And I would like to know how you see AI impacting your industry.
So I think I think we can all agree that AI is a very big topic. So I don't know a ton about AI, but I know that there are certain things that can be helpful in the process. So, or quick in the process. So for example, for a long time, I was doing transcriptions. Like, like I'll take a recording while I am talking to a patient about specific things, like their labs, like very specific things that I don't want to lose any information. So with AI tools, like what used to take a lot longer for me to figure out or to transcribe or to listen to and then write my notes, it can summarize that in a much quicker period of time. So that kind of AI innovation, I think, makes a lot of sense, because then patients are like, oh great, you've given, these are more detailed notes than I used to get. And I'm like, absolutely, because I can't type that quickly to type everything that I'm saying. So if things like that are very innovative. I work with people that have very specific diets for different reasons. This morning, I was working with someone who had fibromyalgia. Later in the day, I had something with some woman that was working with has in menopause and wants a new dietary plan. I was also working with someone who's in the pre-diabetic category, and so I need to work with them. So another way that I use AI technology is what I used to do was I would have them do their handouts that I have people fill out. I work in the idea of having programs with women. And so their videos and then their handouts, I have them fill out. And so if they fill out the different types of foods that they eat, the carbohydrates that they eat, the proteins that they eat, the fats that they eat, and which ones they're willing to taste and try and all of that, I would take all of that and then I would create at least a 7-day meal plan for them. And then I have handouts to show them how to take that meal plan and put it into a grocery list so that they can go to the store and they can get exactly what they need. Well, with AI tools, instead of me literally sitting down looking at like this, they're all of their paperwork in front of me, right? And then saying, okay, well, they can have this and this and this. That would be a great meal. And this and this and this will be a snack. I can take all the data that they have provided to me, and I can use AI to generate meal plans and grocery lists and other things for them to look at. And then if they're like, oh, but I don't like such and such, or that doesn't work for me, then we can make changes. When I work with people who have digestive issues, who have food allergies and food sensitivities, this is another way that I can use AI to put in, like, this is what I think, and then they give me a list. And I always have to check it, because I'm not that good maybe at putting in the prompts, because it may still give things that I didn't want on the list, right? So I don't think that AI is something that should be completely erasing a person, but because I still have to look at it, but I'm like, okay, well, I can make these changes. So now I can give very detailed lists to any of my patients that have food issues or sensitivities, or they don't know what to make or how to make it or recipes or whatever. Like, I can use it in a way to really support some of the lifestyle things that used to take me like hours to do. And now I can do it in just maybe 15 minutes, as checking through. So those are only two things, but those are definitely ways to kind of revolutionize the way that we look at lifestyle, and to make it easier for the patients so that they can go out and be more successful. Because it was a lot of times where they're like, I can't do it. Healthy eating is hard. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Like those were the stopping blocks. But now using these technologies, I'm able to give them something that should work for them, that they should like and enjoy, and they can try. And it makes it much easier for them just to go to the store, get it, and then say, Dr. J, this wasn't as hard as I thought it was, which is great.
Thank you so much for sharing your vision about that. It was very valuable insight. And I would like to say thank you so much for being our guest today and for sharing your journey. It was an honor to have you here. And to your audience, I hope the conversation today can inspire you. And I see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Julia. I really appreciate it.